Hello and welcome to Tinker's Lab. Now this is another experiment. Okay, I'm in the vertical format, so I'm going to have a quick look to see whether or not we are alive and make sure I've got audio, because that's a usual mistake for me that I haven't actually, got me like, oh yeah, I'm recording this, I'm live. Let's have a look at this. Let's go back into there. There we are. We are alive. Oh, we are. And what am I going to be doing today? Well, today we're going to be converting an aeroplane, but not just in this live stream. We're going to be doing it over the next few live streams, I think, because I have this. This is. We got this from a shop here in France called Action. It's a Dutch company, so from the Netherlands. And it's this little truck I got for the kids to check out when they come and visit. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make it an RC glider. Now, the wingspan of it, what is that? I don't know, about 90, 80, is it? Let's get a tape. How big is it? All right. I've got an overhead camera as well, so we can put you on overhead in a moment. Yeah, it's 86 centimetres, 34-inch wingspan. So it's only small, but it's like an EPP kind of, foam glider. And the beauty about it is that you can crash it and it don't break. That's kind of what I want to do. Now, I used to fly quite a bit years ago. I haven't flown for ages. I've been flying drones, you see, and they don't really fly them, do they? They kind of like fly themselves pretty much. And so that's what I have been doing. But I thought to myself, hang on. If I want to get my hand back into the gliders, what better than this thing? That I can bash into things and it doesn't hurt it. Now, I've got to make some judgments in the sense of what kind of gliders it's going to be. Are we going to make that so it's aerobatic? And I think we will, all right, because it can lend itself to it because of the size of it. Now, I've just double checked outside if it actually flies. It does fly. The trim is a bit off, to say the least, but it does fly, and it actually flies quite well. I'm surprised, considering when I look at the wing profile, that's like this, I don't know, what, 3.8, like a 10mm trading edge. That's a bit unusual, but I suppose that's for strength, you see. But then I thought to myself, ailerons could literally mount directly onto there, or I could have ailerons and ailerons via a mixer, so we could literally just mix the ailerons and the so I could turn basically a bit like I used to have another foam plane called a Zag. It's like a flying wing, and that literally had a little mixer in it. It had two servos, one in each wing, and effectively. One on each side. This is a one-piece wing actually, but yeah, one on each wing, and they would be via this little tiny mixer, and they'd mix the signals for your elevators, for your ailerons and your elevons. So mix the two together. So basically doing the same job. Right, you still need two servos, which I can't find at the minute. I've got them around here somewhere. I have got some other planes I'm supposed to be finishing before I do this one, really. But I thought myself, this one kind of like I say, I could bash this about, and it's not really going to hurt. I need to practice. I haven't flown for ages since I've been flying drones. Now, a variety of different drones. I've been flying from things from like the DJI Phantom, Ball professionals and stuff like that. And now I'm just down to little tiny drones, just for fun, just for fun. And I'm looking at this, the trim is definitely off, but it won't matter if it's road controlled to that degree. No. See? That, I'm kind of, I'll start pulling about, come up with some ideas, I'm going to do it. That's what this stream is about. It's actually, what are we going to actually do? Obviously, we've also got to think of our criteria, as in, where are we going to put all the stuff? Where's all the stuff going to go? And I've got to think about the centre of gravity, which is generally about here. Just about third in from the leading edge here to make sure the plane is balanced. At the moment, it seems pretty balanced. It seems okay, right? And we've got to install a battery pack, got to install a motor, Where is it going to go? Are we going to put it on a pod? I don't like that idea. I'm probably going to have a folding prop, I think. And we'll mount it in the front here. And then I've got to think about ventilation. Yeah, because it's going to get hot. So a battery pack, a motor. I've got to think about a receiver, the servos. And I need it in this vicinity. All right, now I don't want to put too much weight at the back here if I can help it. Because obviously I'm going to have to add more weight to the front to compensate. Now, generally speaking, because obviously you've got the weight of the tail and what have you, if, for instance, you've got no weight in the front, it's going to, be tail heavy, and I'll just keep stalling. I'll just go and flat to ground, whereas we want it to glide. I was just surprised how well it glided, to be honest. I was really surprised. And it really lends itself to this little project. And now I can fly that and smash into stuff. That's me about the Zaggy. Now let me get some stuff out there. I've got all things on here still. I need to clear some space. So I've got the overhead camera as well, which is that one, is it? Yeah, that's the overhead camera. So we've got this overhead camera here, and it's the state of it. I think I better give it a clean. But it's been sitting on the mezzanine, which is literally above my head, above this lab here, and it's got a bit dirty, and so have my other planes as well, and they've got in a hell of a state, covered in like mouse poo and stuff, which isn't very pleasant. Let's down there. Let's put that anyway. Sit down there like that. Get this battery out of the way there. Give me some bit of space, right? So, what we need to do, I suppose, try to dismantle it first. That's what we'll do. We'll take it apart and just dismantle it carefully. Now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, it'd be quite handy if the wing come off really easy, for storage, if you could take it in the car or something. So I'm probably going to do something that allows me to do that, where have some kind of nylon screw arrangement, or even bands even. But if I cut there, then cut there, and this whole section comes off with this top piece, I've then weakened the fuselage, haven't I? So maybe I'll then have to put a spine in it, inside to strengthen it. Think of these things, didn't you? Cause, once you've got your ailerons on, you're not going to be able to install the wing like this, are you? You just ain't going to be able to, because you're not going to get all the control horns past this slot. So let's just get this out of there. Hopefully I don't break in front of you. That'd be embarrassing. Now we've got some more of these little planes, but we've got some smaller versions, which in another attempt we will try and make them radio controlled as well. But we're going to have to think about weight, because they're about half the size of this one, and this actually got a bit more lift in it. So you can see it's just a solid bit of foam like that, like EP foam. Let's take my silicon pad out of the way. Right. And then we've got this little tail plane here, which just slots in. I hate all these things like this. It's just not me, It just feels nasty. But that's like £7. All right, this plane was £7. I'm going to be putting more money inside it. Right, so I need to clean it first. I've got my baby wipes. Yes, my household wipes, and we're going to just give it a bit of a wipe over, because it's covered in nasty stuff. I don't really want to be handling it. My hands are filthy now. Like I said, I've just been on the mezzanine, which is quite exposed up there, and literally pulling stuff down. Got my other plane in that. I've got a 2 metre Electrofly that I hadn't finished building, and that's another electric glider. And this is like I say, it's going to be electric. It's not going to be glow, because that'd be just daft. There's no point these days, unless you have bigger stuff. And the biggest plane I've ever had was a glider. We used to slope saw it, and it was a mini mower. It was a scale model of the mini mower glider. It was 3 metre wingspan, 12 foot thereabouts. So yeah, I went 3 metre. It was just 12 foot, so it's over 3 metres, isn't it? Crikey. There you go. That was a big old thing, that was. That was a long time ago, I was a lot younger then. I was a lot younger. Don't forget about the old like button, please, because it helps the channel, and I need all the help I can get. I tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put a logo in there. Let's have a logo up the top there. There we go. Is that on there? That'll do. Okay. Oh my God, not that big though. I don't need the logo that big. Do. Let's shrink that down, shall we? Oh, I do apologise. Oh, look at me. There you go. Let's stick you up there. Like I say, this is all trial and error, and this is kind of, you know. All right, that's clean. All right, so let's. I might get just a little bit on there. I might just give it another wipe over with another wipe, just to make sure of it. Where's my bin? It's all the way over here. It's on wheels, so that's easy. I like making things easy for myself if I can, and sometimes I like making things harder. You know, like biking up hills. Right, do that over there. And let's just get one last wipe over. The cleaner baby wipe. Like I say, we're going to try and make this aeroplane into a radio-controlled aeroplane. There's a few things we're going to have to do that I can see straight up. One is I need to get that off. Right, I need to get the canopy off. And at the moment, I don't know what is holding that on. But we will find out. Right, and I'm going to have to make some room in there. They're things we could do now, because obviously I need somewhere to put the battery. But then we're going to need to make sure I've got the battery so I can actually... Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I won't do that just yet. I need to get all the electronics together, because I was trying to find all the gubbins that I was going to put in it, because I have got it. But I don't know where it is. I've got loads of bits and pieces and stuff, you know. I was going to use my Graupner hot, that one, radio. This one here. So effectively what you'd have on the left hand side, this is going to be for the speed controller, for the power, and the rest of it will be on one stick. So if I don't have a rudder, you can find two stick if you want, but if you I don't know if I will have a rudder actually. I might just do it all on the elevons and aileron. Yeah. So basically you effectively turn, obviously, left and right, and then dive, or a mixture or combination of both. And this will be via a little mixer. So, blimey, the batteries still work. So, yeah, I have actually used this one not that long ago, actually. That's for another little plane that I've got. Crikey, state of everything. Everything is such a mess. Damn, I'm not very domesticated, am I? It's just... Get the word off that. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Right, move that over there. I have actually used this one not that long ago, actually. That's for now, when you get a radio like this, they come either sprung as well, so it always comes to the centre like that one does, alright? So your left stick, you can choose which one you want it to be. This is normal kind of format. But I've got this spring I've took out to let me do that. It's normal to do that. I've got it in the box, so I've still got the bits. I should have anyway. I hope I have. Yeah. Who we got here at the moment? Right, so. There we go. String on there. There you go. Right. Right, that'll do. For now. Not spreading yucky stuff about everywhere. Let's put that there. Right, let's have a look on this overhead camera again. There we go. So that's the radio. Alright. So what we're going to have to do is, on the wings here, on each section here, we're going to have some kind of aileron. I could do that piece of like balsa trailing edge mounted on there. Then I've maybe continue the trailing edge onto the. Cause what is this? It's a. It's not polydihedral, is it? No, it's not. It's just dihedral. So it should be quite aerobatic. So I can put a piece of trailing edge on here. That could be the elevons and ailerons, or I could cut into the actual very, very carefully into the wing to create the ailerons, elevons. But I don't like this. I don't like the fact that's square on the edge. That just seems horrible. Horrible it is. Why is it like 10mm thick there? On the front, you've got your normal round on your for the airfoil section. Now, if you think of an airfoil section, you think of how you get your lift. It's about the air travelling across the bottom. It's about air pressure. So the air travelling across the bottom and over the top of the wing, where they've got the airfoil section. Tell you what I'm doing. If I roll this back, I've effectively got a blackboard underneath here. Right, so if, for instance, you've got an airfoil section like this, so to speak, right, the air takes longer to travel across the top of the wing than it does across the bottom of the wing, because it's flat in this case. You could be undercambered, so let's have a slight indentation in the bottom of the wing, give a bit more lift. But because that's a longer distance from there to there, that air to meet at the same time has to travel faster, and that creates your lift. And that's how you get a glide. It will more lift with an airfoil section. Whereas if it was straight, like a straight wind, you effectively got the same pressure on both sides. Sometimes you actually want that. So let's say, for instance, you've got an aerobatic plane. Quite often, you'll have a wing that's sort of shaped the same. It's just the same on both sides, like that. On an aerobatic forward section, it's maybe not quite so much on the bottom than the top, but it'll still have that curvature. And sometimes it could be identical, because that plane is designed to fly in both directions, upside down and the right way round, so that the air, basically meets at the same time. So you haven't got lift just in one way, or basically in both directions. Now if you've got a really aerobatic plane, that's what you want. Maybe not quite so much on the bottom than the top, but that's the fun of it, That's the nice thing about just all the very simple planes. It's just they can fly under their own steam. Right? They don't have to be powered. If I do power it, it's probably going to be a speed, something like one of these. This is a little one, or a couple of water damaged ones here, but I think they actually work. Should we test them? Let's see if they actually work, because that's a speed 400. Now I'm looking at these two motors, and although, because the state of that one, that's got ready wear. I don't know where that's been kicking about. Now this is a Rimac speed, light speed 400, but actually look, if you take everything off that, they look identical. Absolutely identical they are. All the indentations are the same. It's all probably made in the same blooming factory. Let's stick some power on. I've got my little power distribution over half. Trap the cable. There we go. There we are. Okay, what voltage is that again? What voltage is that one? 8 volts, if I remember rightly. Not 28. I've got on there at the moment. I'm just turning down my power. Oh, I've got it on 7 volts. That'll be enough. Right, I think that'll be the positive. Ugh, state of that. Does it work? Yes, it does. I don't want to be spending money if I can help it on this plane. I'll use all the stuff I've already got if I can. Now, obviously, I'll have to use some sort of speed controller. It doesn't. But everything has to be. That is using 7 volts at the moment. Right, that one works. So that's a good sign. What about this one then? That is the positive. That's the speed 400. Everything has to be. 7 volts at the moment. Now that one sounded faster for some reason. Is it? Oh, I know why. It's because it's got the capacitors connected. Stabilises the voltage, you see, and it creates you more of a clean voltage. You get more speed. Let's try it again. Yeah, that's because the capacitors. So that will probably do with a couple of capacitors installed on there. Little ceramic capacitors on there. So I could use either one. This one's got a little mounting plate. Obviously, I've got to have some way of mounting it on the front here. Crikey, it's not going to be easy, is it? There's not much room. Now, you said up here, obviously, they'll cut the front off and they'll mount a plate on there, like a piece of plywood, like 8th ply, yeah, birch ply or something like that on the front. You've got to make sure you've got your, that's the other thing as well. When you, you got to think of your thrust. Now, you don't want your thrust being in line with the plane. Generally not, you know. If you mounted that on there, you want it pointing down a little bit. Okay? Now, I need to work that out. That's the other thing. So I'm going to have to think about this and actually work out what that should be for the wing itself. You need a little bit of down thrust. If you've got any up thrust like that, or even straight, it's just got to keep trying to go upside down. I'll do something stupid. Right, let's turn that power off. Okay, so I've got a couple of Speed 400s here that I could use. Maybe use both of them. One on each wing. I could do that. Am I making it too heavy? I think so. All right, even this is a bit on the weighty side, to be honest. But a Speed 400, that'd be quick with that. Plane of that size. Yeah, that would be pretty damn quick. You could go a little bit smaller if you wanted to, I think. But, you know, a 400 would be fun, wouldn't it? So, okay, that's the wing. So I've got to think about how I'm going to do these ailerons without weakening everything, obviously. Do I put superficial, you know, stick on it, you know, the ailerons on the outside edge of the trailing edge of the wing to create a trailing edge? Or do I make it a part of the wing itself? Could make it so they double up as flaps as well if you wanted to. You see, you haven't got a huge amount of room there. Don't need a huge amount, to be fair. Quite short, you see, because I can't bring them up here, can I? Ooh. Now, mounting the servos, they'll probably be mounted into the wing. That's what I'll probably do with that. I'll probably cut a hole in shape of a servo. If you wonder what a servo is, I have found some servos, but these ones are too big, right? They're just standard servos. See, standard high-tech servos, high-tech Fatamas, and all sorts of them, mate. These two also got damn. I don't know if they're any good, but if you had two tiny little servos, all right, cut into the wing, and that's what I'll do. And then the cables will come into the fuselage. They'll connect into the mixer, which is basically a V-tail mixer, and then sort of V-tail, yeah, into the fuselage, a V-tail mixer. And then into the channels of the receiver. So I need room for all this stuff in there. I've got to be careful because I don't want to cut more stuff out of the way than I need to. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to see if we can remove this canopy. See what we're up against. Moving over there. Right, so how do I do that? Without busting those. Yeah, something going on here. What is it? It's obviously glued down, isn't it? It must be glued down. Do I just cut down there, then cut down there, then cut down there? Or will this literally just... How far in does it go as well? Does it wrap round? End of the day, I'm going to have to remove it like that anyway, so... Ooh, decisions. Alright, shall I get a knife? Oh, I get violent with a knife. Alright, I've got a little knife here. Can I get it right across like that? Very carefully. Do that. Then pop it off. Righty. Alright. What, a hot wire? Cut through it. Bends its foam. Anything that I feel if I feel I've made anything weaker, I'm gonna obviously strengthen it a little bit. Doing this even's gonna weaken the front of the fuselage. But like I say, if I put a spline in it, I haven't done. You can probably tell I haven't really done much with foam. Oh, what's happened to my camera? Anything that I feel Something's happened to my other camera. Let's have a look at that. Let's deactivate. That's okay. No, there we go. And oh, what's happened to my camera? There you go. Now back on again. It froze. The camera froze. Right. So I'm gonna try and do it on. Right. So I've released the Kraken there, and now I need to release it down here without making a mess. This is when you cut yourself, isn't it? Blood gushers everywhere. Live on YouTube. And then they've got a stuff film then, but and then I'll get a strike. Something's happening. I'm cutting through something. I don't know what I'm cutting through. Right. Now, I have got a load of miniature servos somewhere. If not, I'll have to buy some. I don't really want to. Obviously, not if I've already got them. I can't. I'm trying to find everything, I don't know. Right, how do I get that round there? That one I might be able to bring it round. Bit of luck. Going round on that side as well. Oh, yes, it is. Ribbon. I'll put a bit of wax on that, can't I? Squeaky. Oh dear. This is fun. It's fun. Let's bring it round there like that. Yeah, let's do it like that. That's better, isn't it? Yeah, let's do it like that. Ah. Oh. Is there anyone in the chat? Hello, Gingers. Hope you well. Let's bring that chat out there so we can see it. This is fun. Hello there, Gingers. I trust you're having a nice time. We're going to make this into a flyable plane. It's currently something that you get from a company called Lidl's here in France. And, well, we got it from Action, but, you know, it comes from one of them sort of places. And it's ridiculously cheap. It actually flies reasonably well. I was quite pleasantly surprised for free flight. But if I could make it into something that's a little bit more exciting, radio controlled aerobatic glider. In some ways, I'd like to put connect the rudder up as well. But then I think I'll be adding unnecessary weight. But I could do that later, to be fair. Oh my giddy aunt, this is. At any moment, I think I've got to slip, then slice myself. I'll be gushing blood. Oh, da 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 da. Like I say, I've got a couple more of these planes, a smaller version, which is even less aerodynamic. But I've seen. Oh, something's happened. All right. It seems to be working. Oh, looking hopeful. Looking hopeful. Are you still doing your crochet there, Gingers? And the other crafts? When are you doing so? Oh, cruggy, didn't you make some stuff out of plaster or something? I'm getting hot in there. Out of plaster and stuff as well. Some other stuff that you were making. Was it you, Gingers? Or was it somebody else? I can't remember now. Looking hopeful. Oh, there we go. Are you still doing your crochet there, Gingers? Ah, there's a blooming bolt in it. That's one way of getting your centre of gravity. Put a bolt in it. There's a flipping 17mm bolt. An M12. Why a bolt? Is it? Oh, that'll do. We got that. I just. Oh dear! I knew there was going to be a weight in it, but a bolt. Put a bolt in it. What? I didn't expect to find a bolt. I really did not expect to find a bolt for the centre of gravity on something that's commercially made like that. You know, you expect a lump of clay or something, or a bit of lead even. You know, some lead shot, I don't know, or a little block of, but not a bolt, an actual, is it? Yeah, M12 bolt. 12, yeah, M12. So, we've got our canopy, so that can go back on whatever way I want to do that. That can be, you do it with magnets even. These little tiny magnets are quite good for that sort of thing. Yeah, like these, right? Especially you glue them in there, and glue them in there, and then they'll just stay on the magnets. You know, they won't fall off. As long as all the stuff inside can't fall out. That's the best. Yeah, in case you do lose your canopy, and I have done. We used to fly glides when I was a kid, and I had I've had several glides, but one of the ones I'd first one I ever built radio controlled was called a puffin. Right, and not the word of a lie, it looked like a brick. But it flew so well. And what you call a polydihedral wing. So it's a wing like that, right? But it's also got a dihedral. In other words, it's got an angle in the middle as well. So you've got your tip dihedral, and so it's really, really, really stable. It's really stable wing. And my first flight with that, as it's a glider, I went up on by bungee. So it's like a long length of about 20 odd meters of elastic, surgical elastic, and then like this, I can't remember, 40 odd pound break and strain fishing line was attached to it. And yeah, little flag on the end. You pull it back as far as you go against the wind and let go, and it get you really high, right? And the more it's pulling against the line, the higher you'd go. And sometimes you have to flick yourself off. Because you have a little hook at the bottom here, you have to literally just sort of like dive a little bit and then you flick up again just to release the bungee, which is like a tow line. And like I said, my first flight, I was hooked, absolutely hooked at that point, because I had a really, really good flight. And that flight was about, what was it? It was almost an hour for my first flight. It's just a glider, no power, and it was this little plane called a Puffin. It was made by, it was a kit supplied by Galaxy Models, and it cost me the princely sum of £12 when I bought that. That was all the money I had. Anyway, so my mother bought me a radio, a little 2-channel radio, because the glider didn't need any more than that. It was a little Futaba 2-channel. And I used to go to the Fort Wreck every other week, because that's how often they flew then. I joined a club called the Irks, and that was Eastern Radio Controlled Saurus. And we used to fly there, and it was brilliant. So one week we'd be at Fort Wreck, which is where I lived nearby, and every good job that is for the weight. Yeah, I know. and then we'd every other week we'd be Brisley Common. For me, I could get there very easy. My dad would take me there sometimes, but it's not the sort of place you'd bike that's quite a way away, near Booton Church direction. So anyway, so I used to fly there every single week. I was absolutely hooked, and I started then doing bigger stuff and more exciting stuff. I had built a centre phase, 2 metre centre phase. That was mental pain. That was brilliant. And then this, and then when I built all bolts, it was called the Island Feet. It was a plan that someone gave me. I built it. That was a 10-foot plane, 10-foot wingspan glider. Again, no power. It's just glider. But that thing was daft. Flimsy though. It had no hardwood spars on the wings, so the wings used to really bend when you used to take up on the old. You think it got a break, but no, it didn't. And then, I started building. It took me a long time. I started building the mini mower, which is a wartime sort of scale model, but it's big. It was big, and that's gull wing. So like a gull, the wings would come up like that, but then they come down like that, So it's a gull wing. Beautiful plane. Oh, that was so nice to fly as well. So graceful. We used to take the bungee, couldn't really launch it very well. We used to do it with either a tow line, or I used to slope saw it down. When we used to, there's a place we used to meet. I can't remember the name of it. It was a long while ago. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we used to do. So I got that. Okay, so got to think about the motor. Yes, I'm not going to cut that yet, just in case. I got to make sure I'm 100% confident about this bloody rudder, because this rudder's got a bit of a bend in it, and needs trimming. But it's only foam, you see, so keeps wanting to go back again. Oh, that's not too bad. See, the thing is, if it's radio control, you can trim it on the radio, because you have your trims here. Right, that's what these ones are. They're your trims, so you can adjust for centre, so you can do that on there. But the thing is with this, your trim's got to keep altering because of what it is. I can imagine this in the heat, it's going to change its form. I suppose one thing you could do, I'm not going to do it because it's sort of defeating the object of the plane. The whole point is to make it as simple as possible. You could literally get rid of the tail, get rid of that as well, and split this right down the middle and spline it with a piece of, I don't know, let's say for instance 8th balsa, so 3mm balsa sheet or something, all the way down the middle there. But what sort of glue would you use without melting it? Aerobatic, I suppose. You could use that. You could use a resin would probably do it. So that's the other thing. What sort of glue's got to stick to that? So I'm a bit out of touch. Yoo-hoo would probably stick to it. Track mark glue would probably stick to it. Probably melt it actually. Anyway, so that was interesting. Yeah, the bolt in there for the weight. Yeah, that's a bit daft. So, alright, so let's forget about rudder at the moment. I think really I need to be thinking about ailerons with a mixer. That's what I think I'm going to do on that. But do you know the other thing about these planes is that because they're so cheap, if you bust them, you just buy another one, don't you? And just, the likelihood, what are you going to bust? You're going to bust a wing probably, aren't you, or a tailplane? And you just slot a new one in. It's going to be so easy. So in here, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to think about what battery pack is going to go in here. So I'm going to have to create a little hole for the battery pack. To do that, I'd probably use a hot knife. Sort of melt it out of the way with a hot knife with sold 9. You put a hot knife in it. Or even maybe even my biography iron there as well. That'd melt it. But until I've got all the bits and pieces together, I'm not really going to know how I'm going to go about it, am I? Now, at the moment, the strength in this fuselage is from top to bottom here, isn't it? It's it's bendy. I'm not used to bendy planes, all right? No, it's not something that it's not something I kind of do a lot with these days. To be fair, bendy planes. My Zaggy was quite bendy, mind. But I've been flying more drones than anything else. Ginger's probably know because I took it to Ginger Island, and basically this little parrot drone. I used to have a lot of DJI before, and I went onto the parrot because it was just so. At the time, it was it's 3 years old now, but it was very compact. It's probably about 3 years old, 4 years old. 4 years, I think now. So it's a little parrot drone, folding drone. 3 batteries with it as well, which probably need to be put on charge. They definitely need to be put on charge. Yeah, they self-drain for some reason, which is quite annoying. Now, when I was learning to fly before, can you see that there? No, you can't. There's a drone behind me on the wall, just above the deviation sign that I nicked. That drone there, right, is one I built from scratch. And that's kind of what I first started learning to fly on, and I was struggling with it because it doesn't have the electronics that these things have, right? These modern drones, these you let hands off them and they just stay put, Whereas you have to actually fly it, and that was my goal. I want to actually fly the drone, because that's how you start. That's how you should start, So I bought a little Simca drone. Actually, my wife bought it for me. It's just a cheapy, like €30 drone. That too had no stable, no gyro or anything like that on it. It's just you actually have to fly it. I gyro, but no, it didn't stay put. Basically, it was just drift. But you have to learn to fly, and those sort of things are ideal for that. And this thing though, it is actually really quite good. Apart from I did crash it not that long ago when I was doing a roof survey on my roof. I damaged the airframe, unfortunately. But never mind, these things happen. These things happen. Where was it? There. Is it there? Where did I damage the airframe? Can't see it now. Oh, there. It's not going. I don't know if you want me to see it, but it's not going together properly there because it kind of fell out of the sky. Oh, there. It wasn't very helpful. I've got my 3 batteries, so I'll get them on charge. So yeah, that is what I fly now regarding the drone, and the camera's good on it. Well, I would like one of the new little DJI Minis. They look awesome and they're tiny. Look how big they are. You know, all in case, you know, you can bounce it into stuff and then hurt it. So, okay, so the plan has to be that we're going to make it so I can install the wing, set out of it. So I probably will have to cut across here. And I won't have to cut all of this out. If I could probably cut like so, right? Because you'll be able to hook the wing under, you see, under that section there. I could probably cut that now, actually. So if I come from there, then cut that across there, alright? So from that there to that there, I can leave this bit there, because I'm assuming I'd be able, yeah, I'm assuming, over all F-ups, I'll be able to hook the wing under there, like so, and then pop that section down. So then effectively this red bit here will be mounted to the wing itself. I'll fix that to the wing. And then all I'd need then is a nylon screw in the back edge. But I'll have to set a little bit of plywood with a bit of with the nylon nut mounted into this body here. So I've got something to screw into. But also, because I'm taking that out, that strength away there, it makes sense, wouldn't it, to just stiffen this bottom up. I might even put a little spline down the bottom here. I don't know, might do, might not. I don't know yet. I'm just looking at it and just think, I'm going to do this. So I'm going to cut that. I'm going to cut that top section out ready, because it's going to have to be done. That's definitely going to have to be done. Yeah. All right. Now that one, I'm going to do it from the bottom. I'm going to do it by eye. It has to be at an angle so it can drop on, like so. I'm using a knife. Well, that won't go from the top, actually. That one can. Ooh, about there. I'm trying to keep it square. I'm using the little flange from the moulding to keep the knife square. Is that knife sharp? Or have I blunted it on the bolt? I think it's sharp enough. I don't want to use a saw blade. So I think about there. Yeah. Oh, I'll keep it square. My God, that is blunt. Alright, that has blunted it. My God, it really hasn't all. I must have built it against the yeah, I must have done against the bolt. That was in there. That's not stuff I normally do, this isn't. I do a little diamond sharpener. I do have some spare blades, actually. I've got a whole pack of them somewhere. I can't remember they are, though. I think they're in my workshop. God, my workshop's a mess at the moment. Oh, my God. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a woodworker, okay? And I have... I've got a woodworking channel as well called Wally Bois. And basically, what I'll do is I'll make sure I put links in the description. And it's a mess, my workshop. I've been doing glue ups. So I've got clamps absolutely everywhere, bits of oak absolutely everywhere. And what I've done is I've got a bit of old barn wood. I've ripped it down for a door. And it was a lintel beam that goes above a barn door, it was. So it wasn't hardly any fixings or anything like that. It was a fairly clean bit of wood. But now I've cut it back and started playing it. It is gorgeous. I mean, it really is. It looked from the outside, it looked like a rough old piece of timber. But I was just running the hand plane over it, and it's just like silk. It's really old, very dry French oak. Now, if I do... That's sharp now. No, I do. If I was using, for argument's sake, some some kiln-dried oak, it never ever has the ability to create those sort of shavings. I mean, just really, really fine shavings. You know, they are plane's okay, but right, that looks square-ish. That'll do. So now you do the same with this one. I'll come from on that corner there on that one. Right. Okay, here we go. Wish me luck. Going in. Oh, crikey. It's like a surgical operation, it is. Alright, so now we've got this section here. So that is going to be on there. So if I can see what I've done, all right. Yes, I've destroyed it. All right. So I can slide that wing in there, which that was a good judgment. Good judgment there, Max. That's it. All right. And this piece, I will glue onto the wing itself. So I'll clamp and glue that onto the wing itself, and have it so I can have that little nylon screw around here somewhere in this area here to hold the wing into place. And it's quite a normal way of doing it. In fact, I've got a plane through there that's got exactly the same way. So let me just go. I'll go get it. It's filthy. It's got all mouse poo on it. And have it so I can have that little nylon screw around here somewhere in this area here to hold the wing into place. It's quite a normal way of doing it. In fact, I've got a plane through there that's got the same way. So let me just go. I'll go get it. A very dirty wing, as you can see, covered in some really nasty stuff. Now this is just a normal dihedral ring with flared tips. All right, built this years ago, and this stuff on here is called solar fill, so it's like a heat shrink. All right, so yeah, bring out the gimp. All right. Oh my God, that's nasty. There's little spiders in there. Ugh. Anyway, so this is the fuselage, which is actually a fiberglass fuselage or epoxy fuselage. Now, this is what we used, that or balsa wood. I've got a balsa wood fuselage there as well for my big plane. But it's, I don't like it that much, to be honest. It does fly well, but this also had, no, they did have mix on this one. No, you've got ailerons on the wings here, so there's a servo on the bottom of the wing there, right? So that servo operated these two ailerons. Right, so think of the little tiny servos like that mounted inside there. If I get some smaller ones, I will. And mounted into the wings of these underneath, operating directly onto these ailerons. But I'm going to have a mixer, so it won't just be an aileron, it's also going to be an elevon, all in one piece. Right? But if you look at the length of this for the size of the wing, that's the full length of the wing for the aileron. And these at the back here, this is just literally an elevator, V-tail elevator. Personally, I prefer flying a plane with a proper tail and a proper, I'm not keen on V-tails, to be honest. Let's stick on this. That's nasty. Ugh. That one there. That's nasty. Oh, it's got a hole in the wing. Oh no, that's a repair job. Easy done. That is easy done. I'll just put a patch on. No, not duct tape. Oh my God. Oh, nasty dust. Nasty. Oh, let's blow that out of my way. Oh, crikey. It's very light, this thing is. Right, so that is going to be that way round, mounted onto the wing there like so. I need to find all my bits and pieces and see whether or not I need to order some bits and pieces, which I need. I might just buy new ones to be done with it. I don't know. They're only cheap. They're not expensive things. And that is this. So see what battery packs I've got as well. I'll also have a look and see what other people use them, because there's some. If you look online, if you look at Lidl planes that have been converted, I noticed that there's a few other people that have done it, but they've done like pods and stuff. But I don't think they've done it with the Speed 400. I think they're using a smaller motor. Is this too much? Because this thing will power this one and go like a flipping bullet. This thing's fast, right? And there's a lot, it's just mounted on there. I noticed that there's a few other people. That's not, is it? It's mounted from inside. Sorry, it's mounted on the inside. Those. So using a smaller motor. Is this too much? Crikey, nuts. So that might be too much for it. It might be a smaller 300 or something. But we'll see. I'd have to do a bit of research. Just a mad idea. I just all of a sudden had an idea, and I thought I'd give it a go. All right, to see what we can do. So we've got. Right, you have to get a big old like button. I need likes. Likes, please. Likes, if you haven't done so already. So, yeah. I will be doing quite a few lives on this channel. It's the second live I've done, actually, on this channel. But I was just experimenting. But I'm going to do it in the vertical format like this for YouTube Shorts. So, yeah. That's reasonably solid. I think if I was going to put elevator on this, which I'm not, I would probably make it into all elevators, a whole elevator moved. So you pivot the whole elevator. Could it go up there like that? It could be a T-tail. Like that, couldn't it? And then pivoted. Yeah. Right, so. Anyway. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a look online, see if I can find some suitable batteries. I've probably got batteries for it, to be fair. And motor, if that one's going to be too much. I've got a feeling these are going to be too much for that. And it might need a smaller motor. You got, it's a balance of weight to the available lift of the plane. You've got to have enough. Yeah, it's got to be light enough. You can't keep adding more and more weight, can you? Anyway, but for now, we're going to go. So thanks for watching. And that's a bit of a test. So take care, Gingers, won't you? And Wild Bill.